I mean,
So,
it's horrible.
just to recap, just because that'll be excuse me, interesting. So this happened after you fell, and when it didn't get better, just to recap, they ultimately took an MRI and found a malignant tumor in the bone there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which turned out to be a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Okay, which you're doing chemotherapy for.
Right, and there were like several tumor things. One of them was down by my ankle, which was probably causing the problem with my foot, he said, all the
Okay.
time, being so awful, hard to deal with. The foot is still, I mean, my foot always, it's stiff, and it
Mhm.
feels tight.
Okay.
And it feels like it's, well, I think it's because of the nails like this that
Well, let's get these nails taken care of, because you haven't had these trimmed. It's been 3 years since I've seen you.
Yes, and by the way, so I went and spent $30-some to buy a fancy thing like you've got.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I did was, as I was doing my big toenail, cut into the toe next to it.
Right. I have a much better vantage point from where I'm standing.
That's exactly right. I've come to think that why you can do it so well and I can't is because you have a better way to see
Right,
it.
I can see it, and you can't. Yeah.
Because you had my nails looking so good. I was so bad, I just couldn't afford $60 a time when you got divorced from Humana. It broke my heart.
Yeah.
And my nails were looking so good. I could even wear shoes that were open-toe shoes.
Yeah.
But that went away with
Well, now that the Medicare enrollment period is coming up again,
Mhm.
let's connect you to somebody who can help you find a better plan that will include all the oncologists that you're seeing and just get you away from Humana. But they've just been really, really hard to work with.
I know, I don't know what their problem is, but they're really, it's horrible what they've done. And my nails were so good when I was there. I was so sick when you did that, when the breakup came.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it was like, you've got to be kidding. This is the worst thing that could have happened to me.
Well, and we'll work something out. If you end up having to stay on Humana, we'll work something out so that you can still come in and we can get you taken care of. Because I don't want to see these looking like this again.
Boy, neither do I.
This has to be uncomfortable.
It is. It's horrible, uncomfortable. And I mean, to not be able to move my toes
Mhm.
together, back and forth, those first two toes together,
Mm-hmm.
horrible.
Well, you'll go home feeling like a new woman.
God, I hope so. But they won't be pretty like they were when you got done with them. By the time we're through with them,
Well,
by the time I had to leave, it was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is the worst thing you could do to me is go away from Diana.
we'll get you back there, but
Well, that's the guy right there. That's
Yeah.
a real doozer.
I'm gonna get my larger clippers here.
I used that clippers I bought one time.
So you're in week 4 of chemotherapy.
Right, I'm going down to Rochester tomorrow. In fact, I think we're going to stay overnight because we have to be there the next day
Okay.
also. So I'm having a CAT scan tomorrow, so I had to go for
Mhm.
2 days. And in fact, I was supposed to have the blood test the second day, and then it made it so that my son said, "Okay, then we'll just stay overnight." And I don't want to stay overnight. I want to come home and sleep in my own bed. Thank you.
For those who are watching the video that don't know, Rochester, Minnesota is where the original Mayo Clinic is. And it's what, about an hour and a half drive?
2 hours.
2-hour drive?
Yeah, so we had my blood test, the next, on Wednesday was gonna be at 8 in the morning, so we'd have to leave, if we came home, we'd have to leave at 6. So I canceled the blood test and had it the same day as the CAT scan tomorrow. But then, now my son is saying to me, well, you know, can't we still just stay down there? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there's, the whole city is built around the clinic, so there's lots of hotels right there.
Oh, I know, but it's, I don't know.
I know, when
just
you want
don't-
your own bed.
I don't like it. I like to sleep in my bed. This was a horrible experience when I found this out. You have no idea. The doctor felt so bad, but you know, you have no idea what it's like to try and find an oncology orthopedic person here that takes Humana. And that was the big thing.
In Humana, when you called them, they couldn't find you somebody?
My son took care of that. He took
Okay.
care of doing that, and he spent a lot of time with Humana. And they found us a person. You know, this is the interesting thing. This is the thing that's interesting that I want to ask you about. My son that's here with me today, brought me here. He came up from Texas today to take me to do all the stuff with me this week. But he had the same cancer 23 years ago.
Wow.
Okay, and he's perfectly all right. He had his at the University of Minnesota. And we had all sorts of different things. Like he had been to Chernobyl. I mean, he was doing a bunch of stuff in Russia, and we blamed it on he went to Chernobyl and this and that and the other thing. But interesting, my uncle is a doctor here, Dr. He's dead now, but he also had this lymphoma. Now, what I found out just now, my little granddaughter, you know, she's not little anymore, she's 26 years old now, but when she was 3 years old, she had a tumor on her left leg, but it was not malignant. Is there something that's running in our family?
It sounds like it. I'm not an oncologist, so I don't know if that's one that is genetic, like breast cancer or having a particular gene.
I don't know, but it's kind of crazy.
It is.
And I mean, I'm doing so well with this. I have had no trouble from the cancer at all. The only problem I had was the back, which didn't have anything to do with the cancer.
Yeah.
But and I think what I started to say, those prednisone things, not prednisone, what are they called? The things that I lifted, the jars that I lifted.
Let's go.
Powerade.
Oh, go ahead.
When they delivered them to me.
So you bought cases of Powerade?
No, I bought single bottles
Okay.
of the red Powerade.
Okay.
And
Because your oncologist told you to be taking that, right?
right, I'm supposed to be. Well, he gave me things. He just wanted me to be eating and putting calories and doing this stuff and da 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 da.
Okay.
He wanted me to have a lot of the stuff because he said that he wants things to run through me so that I'll poop and pee and throw up
so
or
that
whatever I do, you know.
To get the chemo.
To get the chemo, to
Okay.
get the cancer out.
Oh.
So now what happened is that as this is happening to me, I ordered from the store for them to deliver those bottles to me. I ordered 20 bottles, and they put them 5 in a bottle, in a bag, in a paper bag, and so I was lifting them over the cart. I lifted one bag, then lifted the second bag, then lifted the third and the fourth out of the cart, put them on the floor, and then I took one in each hand, so I had 2 of the bags, which is about, I don't know, 10, 12 pounds or something by the time you get to 28 ounces, whatever it is. It was just kind of ridiculous, but I carried them into the kitchen and then put them all away, da da da, and it was right after that. So those are the 2 things that oh wow. Those are the 2 things that I blame on my back problem. Because that's when it happened, right at that time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it very well could have been.
So, you know, I think the 2 things happening, me laying around doing that, but the back thing lasted about a week, and then it was gone. And my doctor had me taking Tylenol for the back. He said, just take Tylenol for it. And I was taking Tylenol 4 times a day, and now I'm not taking it at all.
Good.
so I'm done with that. But this,
So, I guess the take-home is, you fell and you got a goose egg on the front of your leg, and those do take months to go away, but yours just kept getting bigger.
oh yeah, it was terrible. And it was a big, deep color,
Yeah.
horrible,
So it's not something, so it's something that you said, this isn't just a bruise, and finally they did the MRI.
Right, and when they did the MRI,
Yeah.
they came up with there's about 4 things, and they had me, whatever I was doing. Oh, he gave me, like, for instance, that he thought I might get sick. He gave me throwing up medication
Mm-hmm.
and all sorts of different medications that I have, and some of them I haven't used. It's something else called Alderin or
Okay.
the
So
other thing, there's something that I had only the first time that I had
For the chemo?
Yeah. And the chemo doesn't bother me at all, nothing. I mean, I was so scared of this in the first place. And the one thing that I also did that they had to do a bone marrow thing in my pelvis area,
Mm-hmm. A bone marrow biopsy?
a biopsy, and I tell you, that was so scary to me because I saw pictures of it and how it, they go into the bone, and like drill into it. And all of a sudden, he told me to lay down on my side. I laid down on my side, and the next thing I know, I opened up my eyes and I said, "Are you almost going to start pretty soon?" He said, "We're done."
So
He
they
put
gave you
me
some
out.
sedation.
He put me out.
Good.
And it was like, I mean, tell you, I have not had any. The chemo doesn't hurt me. Nothing hurts me. Nothing's awful except that back thing, which didn't have anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I'm very lucky. And my son, who had the cancer, also said to me, just because you have had such a good time, like after the first and the second time even, that doesn't mean that all the treatments are going to be like that. You have to kind of be prepared that something might, be a little bit more difficult. But it's not, it worked out really, 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 so far.
Yeah.
And I only have 3 more to go.
Nobody ever
wanted to
looks.
see it.
Yeah.
I found this where this started now. My miserable experience. So I should be able to find that stuff. I just had these two front teeth replaced too. And one of them's now got a black marked line through it, and it'll just live that way for
Oh,
the
because
rest
you
of the
fell on the
life.
front, you fell on your face when you fell?
See, here's how it looked at the very beginning. Right
Okay.
after the day after the fall and that kind of thing.
Like a typical
Like
bruise?
a fall, which they said would, they said it was gonna be fine. Found this one thing from the doctor when they did this. And this is where the word malignancy came up.
What are you looking at, the MRI report?
This is let's see, diagnosis, leg mass, PT here to follow up MRI results. Reviewed images and radiology report with PT, referral to ortho for further evaluation, sampling, plan, referral to orthopedics, blah, blah. So then it says, Patricia, 83, is female with past medical history of asymptomatic varicose veins, hypertension, obstructive sleep apnea, vitamin D deficiency, absence, obesity, stress incontinence, SP, bilateral knee replacement. She presents to the clinic to follow up on recent MRI. The MRI report reads, impression 4.5 by 4.3 by 9.4 cm, APR, TRCC, centrally necrotic, something or other, soft tissue of the anterior compartment of the left calf with the exophytic fluid collection in the subterraneous or something plane.
Subcutaneous?
Probably. Enhancing portions appear to encompass the arterial tibial artery and vein and about the anterior cortex of the fibula. Findings highly concerning for primary malignancy of the muscle. The word malignancy was the big key. I've been flaky lately.
Sorry.
It's kind of like, okay, so
You got bigger things on your plate right now.
yeah, malignancy of the muscle, alternatively infiltrating infectious process. Further consultation with orthopedic surgery and possibly tissue sampling is recommended. She also took an antibiotic for cellulitis for both lower extremities. Cellulitis has resolved. Then it says a comprehensive review of system was negative except for what is noted in subjective narrative, vitals, BP, cuff location, all that kind of crap. And then, yeah, so that was back then. Let's see, when was that thing? That was like July 12th.
All right, we're gonna stop the camera now. So thank you for letting us film,
No problem.
and I'm glad you're doing well.
I'm telling you, it's just, I'm feeling very good.